wait, what do I when I friend, come and do you.
Life.
Okay. What month of my shit? I was just one voice. Are you okay?
This way.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's too far, isn't it?
Okay, you're.
I don't want to enter.
Yes. Okay, I want to ask a question. Okay. Please, sir, could you tell us your full names and what you do?
Additional Ademola Ogunlami is my name. I'm a legal practitioner, and I'm also the leader of the Radical Agenda Movement in the NBA member, that's my organization lawyer, and also the co-convener of the New Nigeria Network. We demonstrated it last week.
So what are your thoughts from the hearing today?
Well, let me say that my perception is that the first matter called about the individual, Mr. Equity, and all that, I deeply appreciate the proactive role of the tribunal. How I mean is this: after the gentleman has given his evidence, I mean, his lawyer was not there, and questions was coming from the lawyer, maybe for the panel. But after he has given his evidence, panel members were asking probing questions, and in fact, that's what they did the first time and what they have been doing. But in the second one, that is of LCC, what you find out that it now looks as if the panel was now more of observers like us. The man gave his evidence, and then when questions was coming from Mr. Wodikoko, SAN, who is standing not for LCC, but was standing in for Lagos State government, the questions to those of us who are lawyers there appear leading, but it was explained or justified by the honorable panel, the chairman, Honorable Justice Judicial, that what has happened is in line, in tandem with the rules of procedure of this particular panel, which my lady herself described as peculiar. She says peculiar, and that my lady emphasized on the status of this particular panel, that is an investigation body. But what investigation the panel do today in respect of that matter? No single question, nothing. When the NBA intervened and brought up these issues that look a bit peculiar, my lady explained everything is in tandem. I have no problem with that. And she encouraged members of the public, people who have issues, to come and tell their own side of the story. I don't think that is good enough.
So what should be done?
What should have done, in this kind of situation, when a man was giving evidence, just like the first other person, they asked questions. This fellow gave a lot of answers. And let me just illustrate with one, that I thought in the absence of the normal situation in court, that the panel herself ought to have taken it. And it was when he was first giving evidence, the gentleman said the camera stopped work on that day from sunrise to sunset. Later he said that the camera stopped working by 8 p.m. In Nigeria, all of us are Nigerian, sunset is not 8 p.m. Sunset is not 8 p.m. So I would have thought that a more attentive panel, these are the kind of, I'm just using just one instance, to now ask, because it's within their power, they are investigating, they want to know the facts. So if Owo Nikoko, who is lawyer to Lagos State Council, and like he admitted, must protect the interests of his client, Lagos State, the interest of this panel is to the people of Lagos State, to the people of Nigeria.
Okay, very good. I was going to ask, you mentioned that the questions that the council asked was leading, and from the reaction of the panel, it doesn't seem to be representative of the interest of the people. Does that now seem to be an irony for the essence of this whole panel in the first place, which is stated to be a restitution for victims of SARS, when it's seeming as if it's a defense of the LCC? What's your comment on that?
No. My problem is not with the panel as it is. But what I'm asking is that they should have been more assertive, more interventionist. Like we saw what happened in the morning, the very first case. In fact, the questions they were asking were so probing, were so intelligent, that the case of that gentleman was disappearing. And I think it was saved by the bell of adjournment. They were asking probing questions, and that's what they did last week, and we commended them for that. You said?
But they didn't do that today.
Today, the way I see it, in the case of LCC, panel just sit down, they look and soak in all the answers. But they provided a window. They said, well, any other person that had contact information, that had interest, let that person come. And that's what I'm saying is good, but could be better. They themselves today, from the questions of that, in fact, there are some questions they could even stop the gentleman from asking. You're asking a man who is not an expert, who has not presented himself as an expert, or a politician. You're asking him, when you went there, you want to confirm that those some strange objects. These are the kind of, because the time waste is unnecessary.
Yes,
I would have expected a more muscular response from the panel.
Thank you very much.
Talking about the LCC, the Lagos State Governor by Sanwo-Olu has come out to say that there was a video footage, CCTV footage of the shooting, and the LCC is here today saying the CCTV did not record the shooting, the incident that took place that night. What do you think this portends for the victims of the shooting?
What does it portend? Babajide Sanwo-Olu himself is a compellable witness before this panel, and that is why, yes, there are the allegations that, not allegations, assertions by the military that they didn't come into Lagos State, into the action by themselves, that they were invited. And it's upon the invitation that all this crisis broke out. So it's ordinarily a compellable witness before this court, before this panel. But how do you summon the person that empaneled you? That's what in Nigeria, part of the problem. How do you summon the person who empaneled you to come and give evidence, and he has a bit of constitutional aura of protection against him? Now, if what Babajide Sanwo-Olu has said is not in tandem with what we have here, the panel will be left to come up with the necessary inference. If you say, oh, it will show the footage, and the gentleman has come here to say, our own record stopped at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. And we know that the tragedy that happened on 20th, on the 20th, went beyond 8 o'clock. So what's happening? So it's not so much as for the victims, though Nigeria is watching. The inconsistencies in all this evidence are becoming glaring and more glaring by the day. Our own confidence in this is lies cannot overcome the truth. And the more you are trying to use a lie to cover the truth, the more that the feet, the neck, the head of lies will be shown.